Hey all, hey y'all. Hey all, hey y'all. Welcome to this Kingdom Things podcast, Pajamas and Prophecies edition. Welcome to this Kingdom Things podcast, Pajamas and Prophecies edition. My name is Ashley Nicole Phillips, and I am a channel and messenger for the divine. I channel energies and messages from our Creator, the Most High White Light Creator energy. I publish these energies and messages in which I channel from the Most High White Light Creator energy within the Kingdom Things podcast. Kingdom Things podcast is available to view, stream on YouTube as well as Spotify. Just like yourself, I am an energy having this human experience. And just like yourself, I have been called and being called and will continue to be called to step into further alignment with my divinity or my soul's essence in order to walk, act, be as God intended for me to be, or my soul self intended for me to be within this lifetime, within this creation of God. I'm going to go ahead and cut to the chase. This Pajamas and Prophecies will consist of Bina, or intuitive knowledge, intuitive understandings. This Kingdom Things podcast, Pajamas and Prophecies edition, will consist of Bina, or intuitive understandings. Many energies from God's creation will be flowing through me to assist with the creation of this video. As this video is a message in which God wants to share with this creation, we are going to experience mass calamitous disasters within our realm of creation. And we are going to experience mass calamitous disasters within our realm of creation. Hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions of people, will lose their lives. We are going to experience mass calamitous disasters within this realm of creation. Hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions of people, will lose their lives. Now, our understanding of death is an understanding which was contrived through lower consciousness or our egos. We will experience mass calamitous disasters within our realm of creation, but our understanding of death is an understanding that has been contrived through lower consciousness or through our egos. I channeled another video titled The Formation of the Human's Genome, Anti-Kryptonite. I channeled another video which is available in the Kingdom Things podcast catalog. All of the Kingdom Things podcast catalog is timeless, but I channeled the video titled The Formation of the Human's Genome, Anti-Kryptonite. I channeled information, Bina, intuitive understanding in regards to how our egos or our lower consciousness was contrived, how it was formed. So that video, I'm being guided to reference that video for you to hopefully help you activate to further understanding of the process of what's happening at this moment in time in God's creation. As this is God's creation, as you are a dimension and aspect of God in your truest truths, and you're being asked to come online to that understanding, to align with that understanding in order to be able to flow through this process of regeneration within God's creation. You're being asked to go within in order to align with your truest truths, your soul essence, because you are a soul that already understands what you were going to experience before you incarnated in your physicality. God's asking you to go within in order to align with your understandings of the regeneration that's happening at this moment in God's creation, as you are a dimension and aspect of God in your truest truth, as you are a dimension and aspect of God in your truest truth, as you are a dimension and aspect of God in your truest truths, with the understandings of creation as you were intended to understand, seated, planted within you. You're being asked to sit with yourself, go within in order to align with the truest truths which have been seated within you. for you to come into alignment with understanding of how you were intended to understand and perceive through this time, through the space of creation in which God is regenerating, God is regenerating, God is regenerating. So the formation of the human's genome's anti-kryptonite is available in the Kingdom Things podcast discography. We are going to experience mass calamitous disasters which will result in the death, as we have been contrived to understand death through our lower consciousness, through our egos, of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. Why? We are being reactivated. We are being reactivated, as I channeled in the video, the formation of the human's genome's anti-kryptonite. We have been living through egoic patterns of our understandings of what creation is, and not the truest higher understanding of what creation actually is, who God, what God actually is. As we have been operating through our own personal understandings of who God is, we have been operating through egoic patterns and loops of lower dimensions, of lower energetic frequencies, which have emitted through creation and caused imbalance within creation. As we have been operating through our understandings of what reality is, we have been operating through lower frequencies of energies that have been emitting throughout God's creation, which has caused much of the ailing of God's creation, which has caused much of destruction within God's creation. Destruction is a part of creation. Destruction is a part of creation. In order to create something new, you have to do what? You have to tear down what has been. You have to get rid of the old. You have to transform the old, which involves destruction. Just as I channeled in the formation of the human's genome anti-kryptonite, rhythm is a part of creation, and this is a universal principle that we were disconnected from as we blame our downs on forces or energies outside of ourselves that we perceive as evil or against us in some way. And we blame our ups on what we call positive attributes in our lives or God. Rhythm, ups and downs, is a part of creation. There are no ups without the downs. There are no downs without the ups. There are no ups without downs. There are no downs without ups. There are no ups without downs. There are no downs without ups. Rhythm is a part of creation. Destruction is a part of creation. There will be mass calamitous disasters within our creation, causing how we perceived it through our egoic ways, death of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. In all actuality, I'm super excited to be able to deliver this message. As we come online, we go within to align with our understandings of our truest truths, or our understandings of the true workings and mechanics of God. We will begin to create a reality that will reflect the truest truths of God, the truest truths of our truths, the truest truths of the workings of creation. And as we do this, we will begin to join forces with the other dimensions and aspects of creation, or heaven, and our loved ones in which we perceived in our old disconnected state of being, our old egoic patterns, as we perceived death in our old egoic patterns, as we perceived death in our old egoic patterns, our loved ones who have transcended, or as we perceived it, died, will once again be able to coexist with ourselves as we exist within our state of being, within our states of being. Yes, yes, yes. Our loved ones in which we perceived in our old egoic ways of being, our old lower consciousness, our loved ones which we perceive as dead, are actually existing in other spaces and realms and dimensions of God's creation, in spaces in which they're able to create their own realities, their own dreams, their own peak realities. Our loved ones in which we perceived as dead are existing at this moment in space in their own dreams, their own highest potentials, their own highest realities. I'm being guided to say that 2 more times and then I'll flow into what I'm being guided to flow into. Our loved ones in which we have perceived in our old egoic lower consciousness ways of being, we perceived our loved ones as dying. They're actually existing in their own dreams, their own realities, their own peak dreams, their own peak realities as a peak themselves, as their peak selves, as the pinnacle of who they want to be. Our loved ones in which we perceived as dead in our past lower consciousness egoic ways of being are actually existing in their own dreams, in their own peak reality, as their own pinnacle selves, the peak selves in which they have always dreamt of being on a God level, on an eternal level. As we are all eternal God energies, God souls having this human experience, our loved ones in which we had perceived as dead are existing in their own dreams, their own realities, in which they are everything they've always wanted to be, everything they could ever dream of. As we go within to align with, I'm being guided to flow into what I was going to go into. Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa is in a reality in which Africa is the wellspring of planet Earth. And a wellspring in which benefits off of its own wellspring. Mansa Musa exists in a reality in which Africa is a wellspring of planet Earth, and a wellspring in which Africa, the people of Africa, the culture of Africa, the land of Africa benefits and is wealthy, is the wealthy country of the planet off of its own supply, off of its own wellspring, and not being as it is in our reality. Being guided not to say that. In another reality, Mansa Musa dwells and is the ruler of Africa, and Africa is the wellspring of the planet. This is going to converge with our reality. Africa will be the wellspring of our planet, and Africans will be the beneficiaries of the wellspring of their culture, of their country. Mansa Musa is the leader of Africa in a reality, in another dimension of planet Earth, in which Africa is the wellspring of the planet, and Africans, the culture of Africa, the country of Africa, benefits off of its prosperity. And this reality is going to merge with our understanding of reality, with our reality, with our reality, with our reality. Africa will become the wellspring of planet Earth, and Africans, the country of Africa, will be the beneficiaries of their wealth. Africa will be the beneficiaries of their wealth. Africa will be the beneficiaries of their wealth. Saddam Hussein. I'm channeling at this moment. Saddam Hussein exists in a reality in which his country is thriving. Iraq is thriving and wealthy and happy and prosperous. Saddam Hussein exists in his reality, where his country, Iraq, is wealthy and prosperous and happy. Gaddafi exists in a reality in which he wants planet Earth to know that his vision of Africa being able to capitalize off of what Africa has to offer is well and alive. Gaddafi wants this world to know that his vision of Africa, profiting off of what Africa has to offer, is well and alive. Gaddafi wants this reality to know that his dream of Africa, profiting off of what Africa has to supply to the world, is well and alive. And this is something we will be able to glean as throughout this process of regeneration, these dreams in which I have channeled in this broadcast will become a part of our reality. Dear human beings of planet Earth, you are being welcomed back into the fold of infinite creation. A creation in which your old ways of being cannot thrive, cannot survive, cannot be where you are going. Therefore, it is pertinent that you go within to align with your truest truths and no longer be swayed by the fear in which once possessed you as you operated and acted and were out of fear of surviving, fear of thriving, fear of surviving, fear of not thriving, fear of surviving, fear of not thriving. Death is a farce. Death is the greatest lie told in your old reality. Death is something that just does not exist, as every dimension and aspect of creation is and will always be, and not only is and will always be, but was always intended to be as it desired to be in its greatest form. Every dimension and aspect of God, every dimension and aspect of creation was always intended to be as it wished and desired to be in its greatest form. Every dimension and aspect of creation was always meant to be as it intended to be in its greatest form. And just because you cannot see or perceive these dimensions in greater forms does not mean they do not exist. It means that you have more gleaning to do as all is one. You have more gleaning to do as all is one. You have more gleaning to do as all is one. If you cannot perceive the greatness that is, if you cannot perceive the greatness that is, if you cannot perceive the greatness that is, that means you're not in alignment with the greatness in which you are. If you cannot perceive the greatness that is, that means you are not in alignment with the greatness in which you are. If you cannot perceive the greatness that is, that means you are not in alignment with the greatness in which you are, as you perceive your reality in the state in which you are. You perceive your reality in the state in which you are. You perceive your reality in the state in which you are. If you cannot perceive the greatness of what is, that means you have more gleaning to do in order to perceive more of the greatness in which you are, in order to perceive more of the greatness in which your reality is. Thank you, Ashley. I was guided to understand that this video would be like an open forum where many energies would come through and channel. I'm going to go ahead and get into the amicable return of Lilith. The amicable return of Lilith. The amicable return of Lilith. We have the story of the Garden of Eden, the story of the Garden of Eden, the story of the Garden of Eden, and you have Adam and you have Lilith, in which Lilith was Adam's first wife. Lilith was the dream that God dreamt in terms of the first couple, if you will, of planet Earth. Lilith was a dream. Lilith and Adam was a dream that God dreamt initially when God dreamt of the first couple, the first human couple of planet Earth, Lilith and Adam. Lilith and Adam are synonymous with the human being, the angelic human being. Lilith and Adam are synonymous with the angelic human being. Lilith and Adam are synonymous with the seraphim. Lilith and Adam are synonymous with the seraphim. Lilith and Adam are synonymous with the seraphim. Lilith did not want to concede to the plan that God had, as Lilith felt as if she were greater. Her plans for creation were greater. Lilith felt as though her way, the way she thought it should be, her plan for creation was better than what God had intended, as God intended for Lilith to be subservient to Adam on the earth plane. Lilith thought she knew better. Lilith thought she knew better, as she did not want to be codependent to Adam. Lilith rebuked God's plan for Lilith to be subservient to Adam within the earth creation, as Lilith did not want to be codependent. Lilith did not want to be codependent. Lilith did not want to be codependent. So Lilith left the Garden of Eden, and the story goes that she went into the wilderness. The story goes that Lilith left the Garden of Eden and went into the wilderness. The story goes, Lilith left the Garden of Eden. She did not want to be subservient to Adam. She did not want to be codependent to Adam. And she went into the wilderness. This is how the story goes. And then God created Eve from Adam's rib, as Lilith rebuked God's plan. Lilith was God's intention, original intention, as Lilith is seraphim. Lilith is seraphim. Lilith and Adam, Lilith and Adam, Lilith and Adam are seraphim. Adam and Eve are a creation that happened within the realm of the earth. Lilith and Adam are seraphim. Adam and Eve are a creation in which happened in the earth realm, as Lilith rebuked God's plan once she was in place within the earth realm. Lilith rebuked God's plan once she was in place within the earth realm. Lilith rebuked God's plan to be subservient to Adam when she was in place in the earth realm. So the story goes, Lilith went into the wilderness. So God created Eve from Adam's rib within the earth plane. Adam and Eve are a creation of humanity. Adam and Eve are a creation of humanity. Adam and Eve are a creation of humanity. Lilith leaving the Garden of Eden is synonymous to the creation of humanity. It's synonymous to humanity deciding to decide. Lilith leaving the Garden of Eden is synonymous to humanity deciding to decide. Lilith leaving the Garden of Eden is synonymous to humanity deciding to decide that their decisions reign supreme over seraphim, over celestial understandings, over universal understandings, over God's understandings, over higher consciousness understanding. Lilith leaving the Garden of Eden, rebuking God's plan as she was in place on the earth realm, is synonymous to the story of Lucifer, the fallen angel. Lilith leaving the Garden of Eden, rebuking God's plan within the earth realm, is synonymous to the story of Lucifer. Lilith leaving the Garden of Eden, rebuking God's plan, is synonymous to the story of Lucifer, as Lilith thought she knew better than God. Lucifer thought he was more powerful than God. The human being thought and thinks it knows better than God. All of these stories, the Garden of Eden, Adam and Lilith, seraphim, Lucifer, the egoic human being, are all creations in which the human being were offline or not connected to its eternal essence, God essence, higher consciousness. We are going to see calamitous disasters in our reality in which hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions of people, will transcend this plane of reality. As they transcend this plane of reality, we have to get our shit together. We have to get our shit together. We have to get our shit together. Why? God is regenerating. Creation is regenerating. We are dimensions and aspects of God. Go within yourself. Do not look to anyone else to tell you who you are. Do not look to anyone else to tell you who you are. Do not look to anyone else to tell you who you are. You are a powerful energy with amnesia to the fact that you are a powerful energy. Go within yourself. When I say go within yourself, spend time with yourself, meditate at least 30 minutes a day. Do things that bring you joy, genuine joy, not fake happiness, not serotonin, dopamine shots, heart-warming joy. Do things intentionally that give you heart-warming joy. Spend at least 30 minutes a day with yourself. Quiet time with yourself. To come into alignment, to begin to come further into alignment with the understandings of your truth. You are a powerful energy, and you know this on a soul level, and you signed up for this experience, and we're all playing our parts. Go within so you can get your new manuscript, as you are no longer playing the part of a bypasser, a standby. You have been reactivated. You get a main role. You get to play the main role in your film, in your story, in your life. And not only do you get to play the main role in your story, in your film, in your life, but this film, this story is going to be the dream in which you were intended to create in your highest reality. As again, every creation, dimension, and aspect of God was always intended to be, to live, to exist in its highest reality. Go within yourself. No one else can tell you who you are. No one else has your manuscript. No one else. No one else. No one else. I want to thank you so much for joining me on this Kingdom Things podcast, Pajamas and Prophecies edition. Again, my name is Ashley Nicole Phillips, and I am a channel for God. I channel energies and messages from the Most High White Light Creator energy. I publish these energies and messages within the Kingdom Things podcast. Just like you, I'm coming online to my truest truths. Kingdom Things podcast, I was intuitively guided to record the energies and messages in which I channeled, which have helped me come into further alignment with my truest truths in order to share it with the rest of reality. Hopefully you can glean some information that assists you in activating further in your truest truth. You're more than welcome to align with any energies and messages in which resonate in your heart space. Please leave what does not. Please leave what does not. Please leave what does not. You're more than welcome to align with any messages in which warm your heart space, resonate with your heart space. You are more than welcome to align with any energies and messages in which resonate within your heart space. Again, my name is Ashley Nicole Phillips. Bye.